Hey, another Fearless Friday here. I got my Hohner Blues Harp. I play a lot of the marine bands and the crossovers, but these blues harps are also great. This is the key of D, doing this one in second position. Song is in the key of A, and I got a little clip right here that I kind of segue into from another lick. But, you know, obviously this is all improvised, so I took this one little clip that I had a question about. I'm going to make it this Fearless Friday little video clip. Alright, so this little piece sounds like this. I'm going to do it a little slower and then do it normal speed and then break it down for you. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now here more real time sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. All right, now the question is, how did I come up with the idea? How do I know when I can change the rhythm of my phrasing? Because the timing changes in my phrasing, as you noticed. And if you didn't notice, pay attention to it right here in the second half. Listen to it again, the clip, and as I go to the 3-draw half step, to the 4-blow, to the 4-draw bend, this part. Obviously, the phrasing, the rhythmic phrasing changes. And that's kind of what makes it a little more attention-grabbing. It brings your ear into that little part. Instead of doing it faster and more rhythmic, the phrasing changes. Check this out again, then I'll break it down. Okay, so starting out like this. The 3-draw half step bend, actually, I think pretty much every time we hit the 3-draw here, it's going to be just about a half step bend and slightly distorted. And I'm doing this all thumb blocked, as I do basically all of my playing. So in between these notes, right, I can't even get past the first note without explaining it more. In between most or all of these notes, at least in the beginning of this phrase, you hear those ghost notes, which means you're doing those little upbeat chucks, which are just like that in between on the upbeats mostly, right? So you're doing that by thumb blocking what you're doing and lifting your tongue off for a quick chuck of the chord to keep the movement, the motion of the phrasing, to kind of keep it propelled, to keep that rhythm going, that momentum. All right, speed it up. You notice those little things here and there, but you're not sure maybe what they are. Right, that's more closer to real speed, maybe a little faster, but not much. So it's that 3-draw half step bend with that up chord, that ghost chord, to the 4-blow, 3-draw half step bend to the 2-draw. Then another ghost chord to another 2-draw. Another ghost chord, of course. Then a 2-draw whole step bend to the 2-draw natural. To the 2-draw natural. After you do that, though, you hit the 3-draw half step bend and come back down to the 2-draw. 3-draw half step, no ghost chord after that. You go right to the 2-draw. Then the 4-blow, 3-draw half step bend to the 2-draw. Right, so those last 3 notes there, 4-blow, 3-draw half step bend to the 2-draw. But I'm throwing in a lot of those ghost chords on those upbeats. Not every time. Sometimes I'm throwing a single note on those upbeats, but when I'm not, I am throwing a ghost chord to keep that momentum, that motion of that rhythmic phrasing going. And then I change the way I'm accenting the beats and phrasing on the beats. All right, so those notes are the 3-draw half step bend distorted to the 4-blow, to the 4-draw bend back to the 4-blow. Then to the 2-draw, to the 3-draw half step bend distorted that I hold for a couple beats. So up until this point, it sounds like this, a little slower. 1, 2, 3. And then I ended up with just this little phrase that kind of wraps up the whole thing there. That's a 2-draw to the 2-draw whole step bend. A 1-draw, dip down to the 1-draw bend, dip back up to the 1-draw, and kind of end again on the dip. All right, so the changing in how I'm phrasing rhythmically really draws your attention, and that rhythmic propulsion from those ghost notes and the way I'm playing the first beginning of this lick really brings you in, and then it draws more attention to when I change up the way I'm phrasing after that. All right. Your ear is along for the ride as I'm playing that rhythmic stuff, and then boom, slow down a little bit. What's going on? It really brings the listener in. Of course, I didn't plan it this way. It's all improvised, but these are things you want to practice, learn how to play not just one type of rhythm, but phrase with all different types of beats that you're accenting, triplets, maybe just the downbeats, just the upbeats, everything in between. So when you're working on your phrasing and you have some jam practice time, which you should always balance in with your regular practice time, work on playing not just always on the straight upbeats and downbeats, slowing down your phrasing, sometimes speeding up your phrasing, sometimes including more of those ghost notes when you're not playing in between the beats to keep that momentum going, and then sometimes leaving more of that out to leave space, let people absorb what you're doing, build dynamic tension with what you're doing with your phrasing. And this is why this lick works right here. Okay, so check this out. Of course, check out all the website content. Each month it changes. I got a great amplified webinar this month, as well as some other stuff going on. I got jam tracks to play along with as well as for download on the website. So check all that stuff now. I'll see you next time. Hey, in case you didn't know, I'm Dennis Gruenling, and I run the BadAss Harmonica website. Each and every month, I have a membership section with changes, with new content, with webinars, lessons, curated playlists, my radio shows, jam tracks to play along with, lots of Q&As on the website, as well as a live VIP Q&A webinar for the VIP members each and every month. A lot of historical information on the classic and legendary blues harp players, vintage gear, and so much more. Every single month this changes. It's not the same old licks and lessons. It helps you think differently, play differently, and practice differently so you can think like a real musician.